Hello, you're listening to the Two Tracks podcast. My name is Trevor.
My name's Mackey.
Today we're going to be talking about. What are we talking about?
From Dusk Till Dawn.
From Dusk Till Dawn. Robert Rodriguez and Quentin
Tarantino. Interesting pair, right?
Well, they did 4 Rooms together, which we watched together. I don't know how long ago, like 4 or 5 months ago. It has a couple other directors as well. It has 4 directors, but we're not talking about. Well, yeah. I mean, we could because
we're not talking about From Dusk Till Dawn this time. We changed our mind.
Yeah, just 4 Rooms because Robert Rodriguez had the best part of 4 Rooms, the third room with the kids.
That was something.
Those kids are good. But even in that scene, they showcase Quentin Tarantino's strange foot obsession, perhaps fetish, which we see in the movie we're discussing right now, From Dusk Till Dawn. And we see it when I think it's in 2 different instances in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Well, he stares at...
Okay, yes, yeah. He stares at Harvey Keitel's daughter's feet.
Yep. And he stares at it, and then he drinks the whiskey.
The lucky son of a gun gets to suck on Salma Hayek's feet.
Her toe, big toe.
Her toe. So, and he wrote the screenplay for that. He probably wrote that in on purpose.
Yeah, you have that power. So, why not?
Well, I mean, it could have been George Clooney.
It could be, but it was not. It was Quentin Tarantino.
I'd have done the exact same thing.
You wouldn't want to be in George Clooney's spot?
Well, yeah, but
you gotta choose one.
But no, because QT makes physical contact. On her fucking feet. But that's not even my thing. That's his thing.
He pays for it eventually.
Which we see in like almost all of his movies. Dude, I'm already talking about her.
I know. So we had a thing where I was gonna find out how fast it would take for him to start talking about Salma Hayek, and it did not take very long at all.
Well, she's one of the best parts. She's in Desperado too.
Yeah, she is. She's also in From Dusk Till Dawn, which is what we're talking about today.
We're talking about it.
Yeah, we are.
I thought she was in. I think she's in Spy Kids too. I mean, she's one of Robert Rodriguez's.
Well, that goes back with
recurring actresses.
Yeah.
It goes back to From Dusk Till Dawn.
And it goes back to the original movie we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Opens up with that shot of the trunk of the woman in the trunk. It like I've never seen that shot or that effect in like any other movie where I don't know, it kind of just turns invisible to show you the contents.
Superimposed picture or video of a girl in a trunk with kind of her squirming around.
Yeah, it's very dated.
I mean, it is a pretty dated movie, isn't it?
God, we looked up, we're doing this about this movie, and I don't even know the year. I think it's 97. Should I look it up while we are... Oh, it's 96. We talked about it, and I was a year off the first time. I guessed it before, and I was, I guess, 97.
Means you might have to do a little bit more research, huh? No, this isn't about research. This is just us trying to talk about a movie, isn't it?
Well, I've seen the movie. I think I've seen it 4 maybe 5 times,
Same.
because it's very entertaining.
It is pretty entertaining. You know, it's got a good portion of violence. It's got some story. It has some really cool scenes. So it was,
Well, you go into it and it's about like it's a bank robbery. Like it's kind of like a getaway movie
yeah,
until
until later.
like 2/3. No, like 1/3 or halfway.
Maybe halfway. Because then the whole idea of it changes.
And that's like one of the best twists in a movie that I've seen. Like, in what other movie does it go from that to a vampire movie? It's like it's a vampire movie out of nowhere. That's one of the like if you go into it completely blind, you don't know anything about it, or if you show it to someone else and you tell them, "Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's,
they're escaping to Mexico," and then you don't tell them about any supernatural elements at all.
yeah. If you never have seen a preview for this, then you'd be pretty surprised.
I think it might have been spoiled for me in my first viewing because I don't remember any kind of reaction like that. So I think someone told me before. I don't even remember the first viewing.
Well, you know, that's okay. So what was your take on that opening scene with the gas station, the convenience store?
That guy, I don't know the actor's name, but he's a badass. He's in other. I think he's in a couple other of QT's movies, but the clerk, his name was Benny. I forget who says his name. He's in a few HBO shows. He's in Deadwood, and he's in Eastbound and Down. And I can't think of anything else. It may have just been a couple of HBO shows, but he's a pretty good actor. The poor guy, he was doing his best, and he was doing a good job of it too, of selling that everything's good. But Richard Gecko, George Clooney's brother in the movie, is a fucking psycho and just wanted to cause trouble. You know, if he were sane, everything would have gone right. Like, everything goes wrong because of him.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't cause everyone to be a vampire.
So did you ever rewind it to see if the clerk actually did mouth what he said that he said?
No, he doesn't.
But did you ever rewind it to see if he actually did do that?
Are you saying that he does or something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He might not.
I've never felt compelled to do that because, like I said, he does such a.
He's a psychopath. I mean, he's a rapist too. So.
Oh, you mean Quentin Tarantino's character?
Yeah. So he.
Well, he says the clerk Benny mouths.
He mouths.
Yeah, but he didn't. He didn't.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought that's what you were asking.
Oh, I'm saying, did you ever rewind to actually see if he did do that?
Well,
because you're like, huh?
No, because
you don't know that he's totally psychopath.
I knew
by
right
that
off
time.
the fucking bat that he was psycho. Quentin.
He's just. I mean,
He just looks like a psycho, and especially he plays it so he's not a good actor, but he plays the role very well in that movie.
I mean, he can be awkward, so it works.
It's awkward, but it's also murderous, psychopath, sexual.
Well, of course. Whenever he
predator.
just sticks a gun in every little thing, everywhere. It doesn't matter what it is. He sticks a gun into it.
They list his crimes. They say he's a sex offender.
Yep.
Honestly, Seth Gecko, George Clooney's probably better off without him. His transformation, Quentin Tarantino's transformation.
Well, what happened though was that his brother helped him out of prison.
Yeah,
and that's the only reason why he's there with him.
I wonder how he pulled that off. Because he fucks everything up.
He sticks a gun in the guard's, I don't know.
Up their ass.
He might have.
Maybe, or let him stick it up his ass.
I don't know. He's a questionable character, but to see that he was apparently a very important part of his scheme is kind of interesting.
I don't know. I feel like Seth would have found a way out without him. I don't know. He's super crafty.
Well, he's businessman first, you know. He's
Well,
there for the job.
he has a code. Like when he tells Richie he's whooping his ass. He's like, "This is not what I do. I'm a fucking." You're right. He's a professional.
Yeah, he's a professional. He's
Right,
businessman
right.
first. He gets his job done, and it's all about that. No extra killing. No, only the job.
Which makes you wonder about that tattoo. Like that's not very.
He must have been to Mexico before, and he got drunk.
Well, he gets super drunk. Everyone gets super drunk. Even
Yeah.
the Asian kid and Harvey Keitel's daughter. She gets 2 shots.
Yeah, that's probably enough
2.
for the first time she ever drank. Apparently,
The way Clooney plays Seth, like the way he drinks is like all you need to see to understand the character. Like when he takes a shot and he's slamming the
slamming
the
each
glass
shot down, man.
He's slamming the glass down. It's another. Like it's so unnecessary.
Well, then he gets like when he finally gets to do a shot with the dad, and then he just gets kind of like he just starts banging the glass on the.
That's what I mean.
You know,
Like it's super unnecessary. In the
one's enough.
Whenever one slam,
One slam per drink is enough.
2,
No,
2, like a knock
because it's hit each other's glasses, hit the ground, and and then you're good.
How about like you hit it, you shot it, drink it or whatever, then you hit it and you knock it, then you knock it once more for refill,
I mean, if it was up to me, I'd throw it to the ground and break it.
like against the wall.
Yeah, that's when you mean business.
That's more business than Seth because you're straight throwing it against the wall and breaking it. He doesn't even do that.
No, he doesn't. That's just me. But yeah, so Cheech Marin is in this.
Cheech, he plays 3 different characters. He plays the Border Patrol agent, then he plays the pussy guy, which is probably maybe the best part of the aside from Homegirl, it's maybe the best part of the movie.
But and then he plays the very end as
and
the driver.
At the very end, right? He plays
the guy who picks him up.
Seth. He says his name various times.
But I think one of the best things though is that he plays a Border Patrol agent.
I know that's like
that is the opposite of him.
The exact opposite of his. What we all know him for.
I mean, come on, like born in East LA.
Oh, and he's so creepy. His daughter is in the bathroom with her pants down. Yeah. With more than her pants, like everything down. And
she's trying to use the restroom.
And like as he's closing the door,
he makes that extra peek.
He is super, super creepy.
I mean, but then he gets even creepier with his next character.
I was gonna say, yeah, his next character maybe. That part is so funny. But what's even funnier is just how violent Seth and Richard Gecko are with him. Like they just whoop his ass.
They do. They beat him up.
The rib kicks that
when he's on the ground,
he kicks him like 4 times. I forget what he says. But each kick he says something, and yeah, it's
a little uncalled for.
Right? Yeah. Like they're trying to be low key, but Seth walks in there. Harvey Keitel's character, I forget his name. He's a pastor.
He was a pastor.
Right.
For some unforeseen, his wife died in a car
died.
Wreck. But that's all we know until we get to the bar.
Clooney comments, I think it's Seth Gecko. He says, "Were you 2 gay?" or something like that.
Oh, with his son.
And then
because they go into the hotel together.
Right. But then he says, like, "My wife's died," and that's supposed to explain the racial difference, I believe.
Well, he says like, what does he say? Something about him being Japanese. And he's like, no, he doesn't look Japanese at all. He
He's
looks
my son.
Chinese.
He says
he's Chinese.
Oh, there's a part where he's like, he's my son. Harvey Keitel's character is so heartwarming. Like, he's such a good guy. And then he fucking kicks ass with the cross.
Well, that's the
the
thing.
baseball
He's like
bat
a born-again
shotgun.
priest, you know?
Well, it only took murderous vampires to
Which is probably something he never expected in his whole
which is
life.
something that would make us all believe in God. I mean,
Well, that's what
it
you
made
know,
me believe in something.
George Clooney's character had said. You know, if there is absolutely evil like this, then there must be a higher power like God.
Yeah, and
So then he was like, well, I don't believe in vampires, but I see them.
I mean, he blesses the holy water and the crucifixes work, so that must mean, that in that universe.
It did work. Yeah.
So that must mean there's power behind it.
Yeah, the daughter used her cross, pressed it on.
And that must mean in all of QT's universes, because Big Kahuna Burger is featured in the movie, which is in Pulp Fiction. Big Kahuna Burger,
Mm-hmm.
What other movies? Well, there's various products that Quentin Tarantino has in his movies that are in other movies, such as Red Apple cigarettes. That's the most popular one, I think. Remember at the end of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the ad,
Yeah.
DiCaprio's ad.
That was interesting.
Anyways,
Yeah. So, what do you have? What was something that you...
oh well, our town is mentioned in the movie.
Is it, though?
Either that or the county.
Because it could be Kansas.
You think that's where it started, with so many places in Texas being featured in the movie?
But they're on the run.
And
they're driving really far, wherever they came from. But they started there, and it's,
I think they're mentioning our town.
Well, what town are we from?
Well, we are based out of Wichita Falls, Texas.
And you think that's... I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
It mentions Wichita, and it mentions Abilene.
Yeah,
Wichita, you go down from Wichita, you get to Abilene. That's a way going south.
Yeah, but so is Wichita, Kansas, which is even more north. But
you think I just don't see this starting out in Kansas when the movie is so...
Yeah, I know. I don't know, honestly. It's just, it could be either one.
Like, why that place?
Well, it's a lot bigger,
It's just with how many...
It is a capital.
With how many other areas mentioned in Texas versus some random place in the USA versus a random place in Texas, where they're naming other places in Texas.
Well, Wichita, Kansas would be the biggest city that they go to.
Oh fuck, man! I don't want to get in. I don't want to get into. Look, I believe our town is mentioned in From Dusk Till Dawn, maybe not the town, but the county in which we reside.
Yeah, that works.
Man, I think it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
But yeah, they're heading to El Rey in Mexico, which I don't know if that's a real place, but
seems pretty generic name right there. El Rey.
Yeah, the sun, right?
Or maybe that's not the sun, but like
the
I don't know.
The Rey, El Rey. They have I forget how much money they're paying. 30% of their take from whatever bank job.
Yeah, to get freedom.
QT's character wants to pay less because he just has to make fucking trouble for Seth. Good point about busting him out, though, because I really don't see how he would do that.
Why he would be with them? Yeah, there's no reason that.
Well, I don't see how he could pull off busting him out. They kill several Texas Rangers, other law enforcement.
And it's obviously Quentin Tarantino's fault that did all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Because he wouldn't have done that.
I know. How is he not riddled with bullet holes already? Because the first time we see him, he gets shot. Then when they get into the Titty Twister is the name of the bar
In Mexico.
in Mexico. Right. Once they get into Mexico, they get to the Titty Twister.
Very Spanish name right there.
Good point. Good point. What would you call it?
I
The
don't know.
the huevos twister. That's the only genitalia.
That's the wrong.
in Spanish I can think of. The huevos twister. That's like a wrestler's signature move. It's like
That
Rey
does not
Mysterio's
sound pleasant
signature
whatsoever.
move. It really doesn't.
No, it's not called that in Spanish. That is nope.
But the Titty Twister is where they go. And it looks super cool when you pull up to it because there's fire shooting out everywhere. And it has Cheech Marin in front talking about pussy.
Every kind of.
All kind. And they are slashing it in half. I don't know how much they
prices,
sell it for.
I guess. He's got it. He's got it all there.
But yeah, like we said, the Gecko brothers beat the shit out of him. I forget why. It's probably for a reason that doesn't call for a beating. But
Just a look that he gave him.
well, yeah, Seth is so sensitive.
Well, he's also like half like schizophrenic.
George Clooney.
Yeah. No, but QT's
He's-
character is half like.
He's something.
Well, no, he hears voices.
Right.
Yeah. He hears her talking to him whenever she said nothing.
What you said back in the mobile home, back in the trailer.
Did you actually mean that?
She's like, "What did I say?" Like, Richie, told you to watch them, not talk to him.
Yeah, he's he makes a good creep, but so yeah,
He looks the part.
they walk into the bar finally, and that's when it kind of gets pretty crazy because it's a whole new atmosphere after that. You know, this whole time you're in like Texas, you're seeing all this nothing, and then all of a sudden there's people everywhere.
Right, there's a ton of people, and the music. It is totally different atmosphere. We see Danny Trejo, a young. He's probably not so young.
He's young
He
for
looks.
then. I mean, that's almost 30 years ago.
I bet he is like 30.
Yeah.
But he looks mean as hell.
When does he not?
Yeah, when does he not? Well, in the Spy Kids movies.
Even meaner in that.
Yeah, even meaner.
He's a mean man in that.
But he doesn't want to serve Seth Gecko and co. just because fuck him, I guess. And
You ain't no bikers
Oh yeah.
or
Only-
truck
only-
drivers.
This bar's for bikers and truck drivers. And Harvey Keitel. Oh, and the music gets so cool. The music starts amping up in the band. I'm gonna talk more about the band later. I got some things to say about the band. But the music, when the band, while they're human, their music kicks ass. And he's like jamming. He takes the bottle. When he takes the bottle, and hits it.
He just drinks it, but he plays, some really cool, classical,
Dude,
like, Spanish.
they're killing it. And the music starts amping up while Harvey Keitel is telling Danny Trejo, "You said this bar's for bikers and truckers." And I'll tell you, he shows him his license, tells him look outside. He's like, "Well, I'm a trucker. These are my friends." And
It's like, oh,
he's like, "Welcome to the Titty Twister," as if it's some fucking place to be.
welcomed to.
Yeah, as if it's something grand.
I thought they were already welcomed by Cheech.
Right, but yeah, they get served, and that's when, as we mentioned earlier, Seth gets everyone a drink with him because he's not drinking alone, and he starts slamming
Yeah, he starts slamming that whiskey down a lot.
that with the shot glass. Like, that's just such a funny thing. He plays the character in such a way, like he uses the way he uses his gun. He's always pulling the hammer back, and just the way he acts. It's so cool.
Well,
I don't care for George Clooney too much, but I fucking
He does a good job of
dude,
that
yeah,
because he doesn't.
I love him in this movie.
Like, he plays a main character,
Yeah.
Like, I know that, and that's what George Clooney does all the time. He always plays a main character, but he's actually kind of a main, but like he shares it with the rest of the cast.
Well, that and he's an anti-hero.
Well, yeah, I mean he's bad. I mean,
like he's a good guy, but he kills
oh yeah, he
kills innocent people.
Oh yeah,
He's a bad. Fuck him.
I mean, he's not Batman, so
he's the worst Batman.
We're not talking about Batman though.
Well, I'm on the record. In my opinion, George Clooney is the worst Batman. But you're right. You're right.
But yeah, so like he is just a very. It's really cool to see him kind of in a new environment. I don't know if it's new or not. I just really like the way that he plays his character.
I think that's pretty early in his career.
And not only that, he fits well with everyone else too.
And I mentioned the tattoo earlier. It's a shitty tattoo, but
it fits him.
Yeah, it's the perfect. That and the gun are just like perfect. He's great. He's great. He probably Harvey Keitel is really good too. They're the two best.
Yeah, he's a broken man. He's
well,
sad,
he's just a hell of an actor already.
But his character is really cool.
Yeah, his character is really cool, especially
So we're getting
makes his kids promise him, kill him. What's up?
I was gonna say we're getting really close to Trevor's favorite part of the movie. We've already talked so much about it, but it's literally on the cusp of what we've been talking about. So George Clooney's character,
Santanico Pandemonium.
They all meet her.
What a name. But in the band, the song the band plays during that moment
so
where
cool.
they bring Salma Hayek out. Perfect woman. I swear.
This is reminiscent of Trevor's trip to Mexico a few years ago.
With the snake. But like I said, the song they're playing, it really, I don't know if it makes the scene.
It was seductive guitar music.
It's super cool. It's perfect.
Oh yeah.
Like and the way she's dancing, sings to it really well. But that is right before, all hell breaks loose.
We haven't even gotten there yet. Like it's all happy sort of.
It's definitely like the tension is gone because everyone agrees that this is dope.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
Seth,
the
he's
son,
like, oh no, that's a show, But
well, the son, he's just like, oh my god, boobs, tits everywhere. He was like, he's probably happier there than anyone else.
Yeah, that was probably the best moment of his life. He's around. Well, I was gonna say he's around a couple cool guys, but the Gecko brothers are not.
They're not cool. They're not good role models.
But he's having some drinks, cool music.
Never before.
Complete 10 out of 10 woman is
on his table.
On his table, she's got her foot
in a creepy dude's mouth.
Tarantino's mouth. He freaking he butchered a bank teller earlier while Clooney was out for Big Kahuna Burger.
Yeah, they killed several Texas Rangers.
Several Rangers.
They're on the run. They are really on the run.
They killed civilians. Yeah, they're pieces of shit. And what do they get for that? What does that horrible sex offender get? He gets Salma Hayek's foot in his mouth. Because QT wrote the script that way because he personally just wanted Salma Hayek's foot in his mouth. No doubt. But
yeah,
yeah, but that is right before all hell breaks loose.
So what happens to kick all the hell?
Well, they take advantage of everyone being at ease, and you see Salma Hayek, giving everyone the signal to lock up and shit. And I forget.
But they get into a fight because Cheech's character comes up and he said, "Hey, these are the guys that beat me up, man."
I forget what he says about George Clooney, but he's like, he's the one who kicked me in the ribs. And yeah, they stab QT in the hand.
Through the bullet hole.
Right, where he got shot earlier. The first time we see him in action, he gets shot in the fucking hand. The second time we see him in action, he gets stabbed in the exact same spot, which I don't know how he broke Seth out of jail. because he's just such.
You're still on that, aren't you?
He's just such dude.
He's so bad.
I hate him, dude. I hate that. No, I don't hate the character. I hate the character. He is a horrible person. I mean, Seth's a bad person too.
Questionable morals, right? Way more than his brother.
He's a psycho. He doesn't have any morals.
That's
But I'm no psychologist or anything. I just know that Salma Hayek is a 10 out of 10.
I mean, I guess you're good at something, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, so then a fight breaks out. He gets stabbed in the hand.
He gets stabbed in the hand.
And then he pulls the knife out and then stabs the guy.
And they tell everyone, be cool, which it reminded me of at the end of Pulp Fiction, where Honey Bunny and Tim Roth's character, they're like, everyone be cool. I guess that was like Quentin Tarantino's phrase at the time. But yeah, they tell everyone to be cool, and that's when Santanico Pandemonium is, I think she's like, isn't she given like a little speech or something, or is that later?
That's later.
That's later.
Because then she just turns into like half anaconda bat.
Well,
I don't know. It was weird creature.
Yeah, everything kicks off. The band turn into vampires.
That was weird.
For not only do they transform, their instruments transform as well into super strange corpses. They're playing corpses.
Yeah.
And I guess electricity is running through them because they got power. They're playing.
They're still playing. It starts turning into like some kind of like punk music.
But maybe not several. They start killing everyone.
Yeah, everyone just starts getting angry. It turns into an old-fashioned bar fight where just someone picks up a chair, throws it, and then gets hit.
Our main party is alive, and two others.
Well, then you meet. You start
earlier on in the
meeting
movie.
What?
We meet them. Sex Machine.
Well, before we know who this is, Sex Machine, he's the guy with.
He's the guy with the dick gun.
Yeah, that one. He gets insulted. And
he gets insulted, and he just, who knows how it happens.
Yeah.
He lays back, and his little cod piece puffs off. He's got
a gun.
He's got a gun, and it springs up as if he has an erection and is prepared to fire. And then once the guy's like, "Oh shit," and leaves, he does his smug little grin, and the film plays in reverse to get the cod piece to close.
It looks cool.
How do you think that's powered? Magnets? Like,
I don't know. I mean, he must have like a button that you just.
What do you think that thing is? A 22?
That would probably just make that guy angry.
22. I'd have just shoot BBs.
Imagine the aiming.
If it's like a Nerf gun.
You know how you have to aim that thing. You just have to like.
Well, it's like perfect for sitting down because it it shoots up.
Yeah, 45-degree angle.
And that gun is also featured in, I think it's Desperado. Yeah, it's in Desperado, another Robert Rodriguez movie. But Salma Hayek picks it up and she's like, "Ugh, it's like a joke."
At least she didn't say, "Oh, I remember this."
That would be interesting.
It would be interesting.
But yeah, we meet Sex Machine, and after research,
I found that this other guy, his name is Frost.
I do not believe they say his name.
Yeah, so he's the black guy in the movie.
He's super cool.
Always has a cigar.
And it keeps going out.
Yeah,
the cigar keeps going out. Like, he has to keep lighting it.
He never smokes it, but he's there. and yeah, I had to find out what his name was because they never said it.
He and Sex Machine have a super cool combo kill where Frost rips out the dude's heart. All he does is walk up to him, rip his heart out.
And right there was my favorite kill of the whole movie.
That's your favorite kill of the movie.
Because. Well, Frost walks up and he's like, he smiles and he takes the cigar, he throws it, and then he just punches the guy, tears his heart out.
It's so fast, we don't even see it. Like, he rips how hard would it be to go through a breastplate
Well, but then they did explain earlier, maybe earlier in the movie, but that
Yeah, they are softer.
the vampires are apparently softer skin
But he wouldn't know that
at the time,
so he's probably done that before.
But then he's also,
he's done that in
when he had the table, when he just started
he was shish kebabbing them,
stacking all the vampires on each leg.
He put one on each leg. He has some cool kills.
Do you think he learned that from Nam?
Do I think he was shish kebabbing Vietnamese people on 2 tables?
Like, did he get a bar fight over there?
I bet he saw some shit over there.
I mean,
because all these guys are super cool.
Yeah,
around vampires.
They see vampires for the first time in their life.
They're not just I want to suck your blood. They are super disgusting abominations.
They're monsters.
They're monsters.
And then they just start tearing people's limbs off. They tear heads. They go for the blood, and they get everything. They kill the people. This is a murder scene, bloodshed, bloodbath.
It's insane to call them vampires because
they don't save any blood for them. They shoot it everywhere.
Well, I can imagine these vampires licking blood off of walls and the floor.
Yeah, I mean
they are just savages. Yeah, they rip their arms off. I think some of them can spit like projectile acid vomit.
Well, I know they can do that with their eyes when they die.
Yeah, they're just when they die.
Oh,
Blade, it's super cool. They turn to ash. In this, they turn to freaking.
It's like that moment in Raiders of the Lost Ark over and over and over again.
Oh, but even grosser.
Because that always reminded me of like a candle and just lighting it on fire really
melting.
fast and melting.
They look like Pizza the Hut when they die.
It's gross.
They're
spewing just gross stuff
oh my God.
Everywhere.
And when Sex Machine dies, he turns into
a meme.
He turns into like a rat, why? It's
whenever he dies the second time,
right?
He turns into a vampire, and then he starts kicking ass.
Clooney pops his head off with the whip.
Yeah, pops it off,
and then like a minute or two later,
the head grows out.
Yeah, the rat grows out.
None of the other ones did that, so I wonder.
Yeah, what was so special? He was a badass, though.
Like, so do the badass ones? They get another life.
You mentioned your Frost has your favorite kill.
Yeah.
Well, the other supporting character, Sex Machine, has my favorite kill, and he kills Danny Trejo in a super cool wombo combo. Danny's on the table. Danny Trejo is on the pool table, and Sex Machine gets his feet with the whip, drops him. Gets the pool cue, smacks him across the chest, breaks it. He turns around and stabs it into his chest, and that's when Danny Trejo all melts, and both of his eyes go into the pool table's corner pockets, and it makes like both his eyes, which are like jelly, are hard enough somehow to make like the pool ball
to make it.
The cue ball sounds going in, dude. That is a badass kill.
It makes you wonder. They are having fun making this movie, and that's great to see. Like, I don't know. At the beginning, you have no idea this is going to be funny because it's really ridiculous. Like the violence,
the tone totally changes, and we get cheesy one-liners. The best, my favorite line in the movie.
Was it not Frost when he goes, I remember in Nam? It's just like, oh, of course.
Oh,
of course he knows.
Look at him chief on that cigar. Of course he was in that.
But he doesn't chief on the
okay.
He just has it in his mouth.
He definitely has a swagger with it, though. Like, he looks good with it.
The thing
he was born with it.
I thought was funny, though. So that kill that I liked, he throws his cigar away. He has it back. Like, he looked through all those bodies and found his cigar back.
He could have had another one on him.
I guess.
Tony Soprano carries multiple.
Well, he's definitely not Tony Soprano.
Yeah. Who knows how he would have handled that? He probably just would have got butchered really
He
quickly.
can't, he's not going to be able to run.
Oh no.
But yeah, so that was the thing. Just the tone changed so much because it should have gotten like scarier, but it just got funnier.
I think they knew that nothing was going to be scary with those effects.
Yeah, but it's funny just how that happened.
And I mentioned they bring in one-liners, and there is some comedic stuff. Clooney, Santanico Pandemonium. She's standing over him. She's like giving her little speech, and she says, "Oh, you'll be my dog. I think I'll name you Spot." And she's like, "Welcome to slavery." And he's like, "No thanks, I already have a wife." And he shoots the
chandelier. Yeah.
"No thanks, I already have a wife."
After he's struggling trying to put bullets in his gun.
So he has been married. Seth Gecko has married someone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. She's probably dead.
I mean, he probably has money.
I bet he married a woman, and Richie Gecko, his brother, killed her.
Well, that's really sad. You know.
Can you see that, though?
Maybe, but why would he even want to hang out with him at that point?
Because he's his brother. The reason he puts up with all the shit
I guess
that he puts up with in the movie.
I mean, they're both crazy at a level.
Right, and I don't know if QT's manipulation did work, but he would try to manipulate him. But yeah, I don't think it worked. Seth was, I don't know. They are, in their own way, crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them. We kind of glossed over or totally skipped QT's transformation.
In what way?
His vampire transformation.
Oh, yeah, that was fun and short.
He turned into a Frankenstein. He looked more like Frankenstein than he did a vampire, and he doesn't speak. Like all the other vampires can speak, but for some reason he can't.
It was weird little part right there.
Like they had him in like Frankenstein makeup, and then horrible continuity. They switched to a different shot of QT, and he just like has vampire teeth. Then they switched back again, and he's in like the Frankenstein makeup again.
Well, it's funny because they bulked him up, like in the face, gave him like a jawline.
Right. He looked like Hammerhead from Spider-Man. He looked like, I don't know.
Well, that's what, like when Frost, he turns into a vampire.
Dude, he just looks weird.
And he like turns into like a big bat.
Yeah, like his face turns into a bat face.
And his jawline, like he already has a pretty pronounced jawline, but like now it's all jaw. And it was cool. He was the scary one. Like of all the vampires, why is he the most deadly one?
You think he was deadly?
Well, he's the one who killed the priest, the preacher.
Oh, you're right.
Like he's the one who gets the good kill.
Yeah, but the rest of the time he's just like standing around,
Like,
yeah.
And then he just he doesn't even do much movement. He just turns without moving his head.
Because that makeup is probably hard to do shit
probably
in.
Pretty heavy too.
I forget how more come in, but whenever, oh yeah, the bats, they get a moment of, a moment to chill, but they're like, well, what's that noise? And George Clooney's like, oh, bats. It's real cool. Bats. Batman says bats. He's not Batman, though.
Apparently, yeah, he's not Batman. George Clooney's not Batman.
But anyways.
So that's when they're hanging out in the bar. There's dead bodies, corpses everywhere, and they have a little bit of silence.
The band is left over.
and that's when they're like, oh, crap.
And I forget who's... It's so cool. They all like kind of get armed, and Frost just pulls the pencil out of the.
Oh yeah, they all start like getting their weapons out of dead bodies, and he gets the pencil out of the heart.
That's so fucking bad. He's gonna fuck him up with a pencil.
He did kill a guy with the pencil though. Yeah.
But the band, I forget who says it, but they're like, let's get that fucking band. and they're all yeah, you're right. They're all looking around scared.
Oh crap!
And he's like, "Fuck you, good night," and they just blow up. They just blow up, but the corpse instruments
Or like left, and
they kind of like levitate away. They look. It's
a weird effect.
It
It's
looks
just like smoke, and then it bounces off the stage.
like you can see the sparks move fast, but the instruments aren't moving as fast. So it's like two different speeds. It does look really weird, but
then
fuck you, good night, and they just blow up.
Like
they didn't even try to get away.
I would have thought like they might have turned into bats, because you've seen that, and they just leave.
They can do that,
I didn't see any bats after that. They're gone.
Dude, they just blew themselves up. I think there's like a bit of gore.
Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah, it was bad. But then, the bats are coming, so they have to they're trying to get further into the bar to get some safety. And so they go into the storage room, right?
Right, where they've kept, and they say it's where, everyone who's been making deliveries and has cargo, they've kept it here.
Well, they kill the truck drivers. And
they kill the truck drivers.
Take the trucks.
But you think they're going to need a bigger room than this? Like,
yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't even fill a single truck.
It looked like a small, like, storage shed.
They find some things, though. They find some bullshit. I think, like, some, like, fake flowers.
Hot Wheels, maybe?
Hot Wheels, like, then,
yeah.
You already know. Dude,
go ahead.
This weapon is so ridiculous. They all, while Clooney and Harvey Keitel's kids are in the storage room, Harvey Keitel he's hiding behind the bar, and all the bats are there. But meanwhile, in the storage room, they're getting decked out. They're preparing for war. Some cool weapons. They get some cool weapons. Harvey Keitel's son, he finds a cool water gun. They're gonna bless the water. It's gonna shoot holy water. I think that's a pretty cool idea. His daughter finds this pump action crossbow. I don't think it's that cool, but I don't know.
It's cool.
It's cool. It's a cool weapon. Oh, his son also finds some condoms, which they fill
with water.
Bless it. Condom grenades.
Yeah.
And
super effective.
And then Seth.
Yeah, my favorite weapon.
He's been to school. He's been to like mechanical engineering school or something, because he makes, I don't know how, he makes this stake jackhammer.
Yeah, it's like an
type
auger
gun.
with a,
like, it's cool. It's a cool weapon, but it's also fucking dumb.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Because it's so random. It's like this Bloodborne weapon, but
it's Dead Rising.
Like it functions. It functions is enough to be like, what the hell? But it functions perfectly. He
gets kills with it. So
he revs it. There's a cord on this stake jackhammer. And yeah, he gets it going.
He does. He gets kills with it, and it's pretty cool. I mean, that thing looks hefty.
That looks hefty, and it also looks impossible to make. I mean, I know. Oh well, it's a movie about vampires. Well, come on. But while they get armed, Harvey Keitel is behind the bar, and he finds the bat and the extremely convenient shotgun. And by extremely convenient, I mean, if the pump on that shotgun didn't have that super weird grip that he inserted the bat into, his whole plan of shooting and reloading with it
as a cross,
as a crucifix, would not work.
Yeah, which is cool. Like, he has a crucifix made out of a shotgun,
and a bat. That is super. It's super fucking cool, dude. It's super cool. But right, it's just super convenient as well that weird ass grip is on it. But
it's there.
He gets it, stands up. He stands up, and there's kind of another weird, not an effect, but the visual of all the vampires
kind of circling around.
Not circling around, but do you remember it? It shows a shot of like all the vampires are kind of like standing there looking at him.
Yeah.
That's it. It looks weird, but whenever they're all like kind of crowding around, it looks cool. But it also,
and these vampires, they look nothing like the vampires.
Yeah, they look nothing like the previous vampires. They all look the same.
They all look like the bats,
Mm-hmm.
like bigger bats.
So maybe there's more to species and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe there's a whole
There's a
story behind
there's a From Dusk Till Dawn. There's also sequels, but there's a Netflix series as well. I watched the first season like 3 or 4 years ago, so I hardly remember it. But it could get more in depth in that. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about
this one. Yeah.
this one. So we don't know anything more. But Harvey Keitel, he does take a few out with his crucifix shoddy crucifix cannon. That's the name for it because that's a super cool name. Crucifix cannon.
The crucifix cannon. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he runs into the hallway.
Right, he gets to that hallway, and for some reason, the rest of the vampires don't want to follow into the hallway.
Yeah, like they all kept their distance when they had the crucifix.
To the door though, because they shoot the hand or something at the door, but whenever they open the door, they're all back in the bar. And I said while we were watching it, man, if they just stayed in that room, in that bottleneck,
they could have just let the I mean, the only thing I can think of is they don't know how many vampires are out there, and they could be there forever.
But I'd rather risk it that way than just
exactly. But that was the thing. Like, they should have just stayed in there and let the vampires come in there one by one, and they could just, I don't know where they got their water from, but they could have just used that gun.
Good point. I'm gonna make it up for them. There were shipments of water.
Yeah,
that they took from truckers.
I guess they got to decide if they want to drink it.
There you go, QT and Robert Rodriguez. I threw you that bone. But
they probably thought about
that. Where the water came from?
Yeah.
Well, if they did, they didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all ready for war and they leave. One of the cool things I didn't mention, I think is pretty cool. They carved a cross on into the lead
of the bullets.
I think that's cool.
Yeah. Well, they had that huge fight, and it was like they didn't know exactly how to fight vampires, and they're getting them mixed up with what are those called? Werewolves, because they're like silver bullets. Does anyone don't silver bullets kill vampires?
In general lore, silver does work against vampires.
But then the daughter's like, "Well, does anyone have silver?" And they're like, "No." Well, she's like, "Well,
I could totally see Seth wearing like a silver chain or some silver earrings or something silver.
I'm surprised he didn't have like a silver earring. Just
right. They totally steal from it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I got the silver earring." Then they find a slingshot and and then they drill, I don't know, someone with it.
Yeah. This is, what did they use with the...
This is battery acid, you slime. He's like, ah.
Yeah, I don't think that works on vampires.
Yeah, they'd be like, fuck off, little boy.
You just threw steroids out, like your inhaler.
Yeah, they would like they would inhale it. They'd be like, yeah, what, so?
Now I can breathe easier, thank you.
Now I won't have to... I can suck your blood for longer now.
Yeah, I don't have to wheeze when I... There we go.
Oh, yeah. Wheezy. He calls him Wheezy.
Yeah.
We might have to talk about that later.
At some point. It's one of my favorite movies.
Oh, it definitely has a history.
Especially with us.
Yeah, we watched it way too young. But we'll save that for the future. I gotta get back to the future.
So after that, they do the fight. They're going in to kill all the vampires, and it's cool because we get to see all their weapons.
Yeah, we see all their weapons in action. Homeboy is throwing condoms
and explode. Yeah, like their water splashing everywhere, and their faces are getting like
I can't believe I was just killed by a condom filled with water.
What a way to die!
I know. I'd rather get shot with a squirt gun. But we see, oh my god, in the way Clooney uses the stake hammer. That's the name for it.
Stake hammer?
The stake jackhammer. He like shoves it into one's chest. Then he like spins it. He like flips it around, and he's like flipping it around and shit.
I don't know how he uses that.
That's
cumbersome.
There's exhaust coming from that thing. Like, what is this contraption?
Well, how heavy do you think that is? And then you're adding a body to it.
60 pounds.
And then a body.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Like on top of that.
Well, and then we got homegirl, Harvey Keitel's daughter. She's all rolling around and with her.
But without the, because it's a crossbow.
Okay, so it's.
Yeah, no, it's.
But yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, her and Seth, they have a pretty cool wombo combo kill too. Seth, he gets the whip around Sex Machine's head. Sex Machine is all hiding his transformation. You remember?
Yeah,
look. We were talking about the comedic tone. Definitely some comedy vibes going on from when he's trying to hide. He's like, his hands are going off. His fucking tooth. He's covering his mouth.
That's the best part. Because, yeah, his hand changes.
It's so adorable.
One hand changes into a vampire hand.
He's like, oh my god. It looks more like a werewolf hand.
Yeah, well, that's what it was, a werewolf transformation. Because there's one hand, then the other. But then you look down and he looks at his gun, and then you hear the transformation again. And I'm like,
dude, I never caught
yeah,
that
I saw that, and I'm like, should I rewind? Did that really just happen? But then it makes sense. It makes sense if that did happen. If it didn't, I don't know. I like it better if it did.
Yeah, it's knowing them, I can see it happening. It's pretty funny.
They really downplayed a vampire, apocalypse kind of thing.
They did make it funny in various ways.
I mean, come on, stacking corpses on a table.
Oh,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, Frost was a very funny character.
Because he's just the typical badass,
corny badass.
He plays like a Schwarzenegger character, just like he's there. He's Nam, military professional, and then he just has a troubled past apparently because Nam.
Well, he's in Mexico.
Yeah, so I wonder what that means.
He killed some
but then he's
prostitutes.
just killing vampires by lifting them up.
Yeah, he
might have the highest kill count.
No, it's definitely I forget the name of Cheech's guys at the end, but whoever gets the disco ball going at the end.
Oh, well, that's probably just Sun.
The sun?
Yeah,
I mean the sun's kills.
Well, because they open up the door and then eventually the light all gets inside.
I don't want to start thinking about it because I'll be thinking about it for a while. But I bet Seth and I don't know. I bet Seth is up there too because they last until the end of the movie. You know what I mean? They're killing until the end of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Him and
there's like 3 to 5 minutes left of where it's nothing because after the fighting, and then the credits roll.
What were we talking about before Sex Machine? We're talking about their weapons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was mentioning that super cool combo.
The wombo combo, another one.
Clooney gets, I think it's Sex Machine's own whip around his neck. Then there's a cool shot of him wrapping it up, and he pops it off his head, and yeah, that disgusting transformation. But he pops the head off, kicks it to homegirl, and she gets the arrow into his head, and then kicks it. And
that was another cool kill.
Yeah, that's a cool kill.
And then
prior to that, Harvey Keitel made the children promise him that if he turns,
you swear to God that you
swear to God
me.
They're gonna kill him. Well, he turns, and he looks like a werewolf too. He got the facial hair.
Well, he
going.
looked like he did, meth for whatever.
He
had
his
like
transformation
blemishes and stuff. It was weird. Like he didn't have that originally.
But we get that line drop from his Asian son. I swear to God, Jesus Christ's name, amen. He shoots him. It's a cool little moment. But dude,
he might have the worst death.
I was just going to say his death is horrible. He is being ripped to shreds, and he is begging his sister to kill him.
Yeah, he gets attacked by like 10 of them,
And she doesn't do it.
I mean, she can. Like there are
Yeah,
vampire
they are
bodies in
mauling
front of him.
It is, yeah, that death.
He died.
He died a horrible death. It reminded me of Dawn of the Dead, I believe, when they are just ripping apart this body.
But yeah, that he's gone. He's not even going to transform. You know, everyone else got lucky to transform. He doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the fighting happens, and then they're left with, you know,
it's just Clooney and Homegirl, and they are back to back. She has his gun, and she's like, "Should I save the bullets for us, Seth?" He's like, use them on anything that comes near you.
Yeah,
and she tries to shoot one. Well,
misses.
She misses, but she shoots a hole in the wall, and it is morning outside, and they see that
it's dawn.
It's dawn. It was once dusk, and it is now dawn. And the vampires are being hurt by the sunlight that's shining through the hole, because this bar, the Titty Twister, is made out of planks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they get hurt. Seth is like, "Oh, shoot more. You know, shoot some more holes."
And so then it became like a spy movie where they're like the lasers and the vampires are trying to dodge the lasers.
But yeah, it's not enough. They get one going off the disco ball though.
But that's at the very end after everything's open.
Well, she gets one. She gets like a couple on the disco ball, but then Cheech's homeboys start lighting it up.
Well, they break the door down,
right?
So there's like a huge light comes in. Basically, that would have illuminated the whole room anyway.
And there's another kind of dated shot of all the vampires being hit by the
sunlight with the.
And then they explode.
There's a kind of a cool idea where the light comes and hits the disco ball.
Hang on, I do not believe for a second that a place like the Titty Twister would have a disco ball.
I think it's just there as a prop, you know.
Oh well, yeah, of course, for movies' sake. But
no, I mean like
that thing.
I've been to some pretty shady bars, and they just have a disco ball. No one dances; they just drink to watch their life away. But there's a disco ball.
That's definitely what they're doing at the Titty Twister.
Something they're escaping. But yeah, so yeah, they break in with Cheech's guy.
Yeah, Cheech's boys.
Break him out.
What the fuck is going on here?
They've never seen vampires before or something.
Yeah, right? And Clooney, what the fuck do you think happened? Can you look around? It's fucking vampires or whatever.
Yeah, so they walk out, and he then breaks his code by renegotiating the price.
His fucking brother died.
Yeah, and he's like, I want a better price.
He wants
20%.
He wants to buy all the rice and beans he can in El Rey.
With however much money he has, he wants that extra 10%.
And it doesn't look like much money.
Well, he gives
he gives Homegirl some. How much money do you think he gives her? $10,000.
Probably 10,000.
Sorry, honey, your family's dead.
Here's 10,000. Forget about it.
You can't come with. She asked if she can go with him. Hey, you want some company? It's like, hell no. You know what kind of women I'm gonna run into down there?
Yeah.
Come on, you tagging along with me, little girl. Here's 10,000. Go back in, find your dad's corpse, take the keys. She had to go in there, get the keys off her dad's corpse, because we see her drive away.
Yeah. Which is.
And then, pans out.
And here's one of the coolest scenes of the whole movie.
The coolest shot of the whole movie, for sure.
Yeah.
The coolest shot, for sure, of the whole movie. Pans out, and we see that the Titty Twister is built upon some ancient pyramid.
It's an Aztec pyramid.
Some ancient Aztec
pyramid.
Super cool.
With the trucks hanging down.
Which gives the potential for tons of lore.
Yeah, I mean, now it's...
Because, there's tons of semi-trucks and shit down there. Like, they just throw them down there.
Well, but then it starts looking like Mad Max. Because there's a truck with sticks and there's skulls on each of them.
That's probably one of their personal vehicles.
It probably was Mad Max down there. you know. So
Oh well, yeah, they probably have like humans down there fighting for their entertainment.
yeah, who knows how far this stretches? The whole civilization.
I wonder what would have happened the next night. Like the
all over again,
more vampires come. Like holy shit.
right? Or they just clean up because this happens all the time.
Maybe, but yeah, Cheech's boys, they arrive. They bring Clooney a super cool red hot rod.
Yeah,
He drives away in a convertible. He takes his shirt off. We get to see him his cool wife beater.
With his cool tattoo.
Cool, trashy tattoo. Horrible looking tribal tattoo.
Just like if it was on both sides, I think it would have been a little bit better. But it was just on one arm.
I like the one side.
For any other tattoo, I would have preferred one side. But with that tattoo in particular, both arms.
What do you think he did? And you think he just lived out the rest of his days in El Rey eating rice and beans?
Maybe. Probably.
I don't know. I think he might have been like
Do you think he was just laying low for a little bit?
lay low, but I bet he got back into crime.
Yeah, he could have. No telling what else he could have done.
I wonder what Homegirl got up to.
She's family.
Oh yeah, a psych ward. I mean,
yeah, she lost everything.
she watched her brother get ripped to pieces by vampires.
She watched her dad get ripped apart. You know, like the whole thing is.
She got $10,000 though.
That makes it okay.
That's a lot of lottery tickets. Well, that was From Dusk Till Dawn by Robert Rodriguez, and the screenplay, I believe, was written by Quentin Tarantino. Either way, it's a joint project from the two. Mackey, any closing statements, anything you would like to say about this awesome movie?
Spectacular movie.
Spectacular.
You know,
there's spectacle to see within.
Something. I mean, Quentin Tarantino didn't have glasses that rest of that time, and he broke them, right?
Well, his brother Seth
He
broke
punched
them when and they
knocked him out.
he woke up and what happened to my glasses? Oh, you passed out.
He just fell. Yeah. But yeah, so that was From Dusk Till Dawn. Next time we're gonna do another, I guess, horror movie. I mean, this is a horror movie, but I don't know if this first one was a horror movie.
Yeah,
A true horror movie.
yeah. This one, horror classic, classic.
And what movie is that?
Directed by Sam Raimi, starring Bruce the Chin Campbell. You may know him from Burn Notice.
I love his character in Burn Notice.
Yeah, Burn Notice was a good show, but The Evil Dead 2 is better. So be sure to listen. My name is Trevor.
My name is Mackey.
And you've been listening to the Two Tracks Podcast.